Today's game makers are doing mind-blowing things with graphics. And at the 2019 Game Developers Conference you will have a unique opportunity to see how some of the industry's most jaw-dropping games are built. Notably, as part of GDC 2019, an advanced graphics techniques tutorial, AMD and Ubisoft will present a programming track talk on efficient rendering in The Division 2 that you will not want to miss. Together, Ubisoft massive technical director Kyle Ledfus and AMD developer, tech engineer Rolog Aviv will walk you through how Ubisoft's upcoming online action RPG is built to run efficiently on the company's powerful Snowdrop engine. You will get a full, frank look at the tech, as though you were being brought on board to join the Snowdrop team. Right after GDC wraps up, you will also learn some of the tricks and techniques the Division 2 team uses to achieve maximum performance on both PC and console, like how to structure a frame so asynchronous compute can get the most out of the PU. You will also walk away with unique insight into how Snowdrop diffuses multi-threading, intrinsics, and even a trick to submit command lists faster than usual. It promises to be a fast-paced track, so come caffeinated and ready to learn. It's a great example of the kind of technical, in-depth talks you will find in the Advanced Graphics Techniques tutorial, a focused day-long look at how to create cutting-edge game graphics for game developers targeting the PC platform. For a full list of what to expect, including talks from NVIDIA, AMD, and developers like Wildcard, Oasis, and Read It on the other 1886. Check out the tutorial's full talk lineup. Further details on these talks and many more are available now on GDC 2019 session scheduler. There you can begin to lay out your GDC 2019, which takes place March 18th through the 22nd at the newly renovated Moscone Center in San Francisco. Bring your team to GDC, register a group of 10 or more and save 10% on conference passes. Learn more. For more details on GDC 2019 visit the show's official website, or subscribe to regular updates via Facebook, Twitter, OS, Gamasutra and GDC are sibling organizations under parent company Informa. Ubisoft has announced that it's making changes to the controversial Assassin's Creed Odyssey DLC, which came under fire recently. This follows the apology Ubisoft issued last week regarding the DLC, which presented a mandatory in-game relationship rendering on romantic decisions the player made, whether to pursue relationships with men or women regardless of playing as Alexios or Cassandra. No, the content of the DLC was initially going to remain unchanged, but an updated forum post seems to indicate a shift in direction. After hearing player feedback and discussing within the development team, we are making changes to a cutscene and some dialogue in Shadow Heritage to better reflect the nature of the relationship for players. Selecting a non-romantic storyline, the post reads, these changes, along with renaming a trophy achievement, are being made now and will be implemented in an upcoming patch. We have also been carefully looking at the next episode, Bloodline, to ensure the paths that players experience mirror the choices they make in-game. It's worth noting that the player character is still locked into the decisions of the DLC, but the language around the event is being changed, as well as the nature of the relationship. Still, it's a welcome improvement that the community seems to be content with. Additionally, the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, GLOD, have also made a separate post addressing concerns over the DLC. explaining that it has been in communication with Ubisoft about the DLC. This comes in response to Assassin's Creed Odyssey's nomination for the Outstanding Video Game Award, a category that seeks to celebrate interactive experiences that include authentic and impactful LGBTQ characters and storylines. Mirror Drop takes players to a puzzling world of endless mirrors and reflections, creating a dizzying realm of repeating visions and colors into infinity. Gamasutra spoke with Dee and Lily, developer of the Excellence in Visual Art nominated Mirror Drop, to talk about the challenges faced in creating a game built to disorient, the difficulties of making puzzles in the game's confounding landscapes, and the joy of becoming lost in their own realm of endless reflections. My name's Dee and Lily, and I did everything in Mirror Drop except the music, which was done by the 3D. I have been making games since sophomore year of high school. My twin brother Sean and I were in Grounds, and originally picked up Flash to create animations. But somehow that interest shifted more towards games. We spent many hours following random tutorials, and eventually came out with a very basic game, where you avoid obstacles with your mouse. There were tens of these on Newgrounds already. To this day, I have not beaten the game in one sitting. The second to last level is nearly impossible. But at the time we thought it would be an appropriate challenge for other players. A few years later, we released a much more solid game called 2's, which was a puzzle game about controlling two characters in side-by-side rooms and moving obstacles from one room to the other. After that, we both went to UPenn and majored in digital media design, and each program with programming and art classes in the curriculum. Here, we got really into graphics programming, and worked on game engines in our spare time. After college, I went to that company and did graphics programming for Sky, which was a challenging and ambitious project in many ways. They had a very creative and DIY approach to engineering that has had a lasting influence on me. However, after a few years of only doing graphics programming, I was beginning to feel tired and constrained, and decided to enter the void and start my own game. I was sitting in bed thinking of game ideas, and something about mirrors reflecting different versions of the world popped into my head out of nowhere. I quickly scrapped the idea, because it did not play out as well as I had imagined. But I was fascinated by the tech and spent countless hours aimlessly flying around in weird infinite mirrored spaces. Development was very improvisational, so it was not until a few months later, when I added the bell and messed around with turning the lights on and off, that I realized I could combine the two ideas into a sort of physics puzzle game. My goal from the start was to make it 100% custom, so no third-party engine, though I do use open source libraries for sound, windowing, font, etc. I like this approach, because it gives ultimate freedom. But on the flip side, it's a lot harder to figure things out, and I often asked, am I capable of implementing this? The game is coded in C, and OpenGL and a single shader is responsible for all of the in-game visuals. Honestly, I could do an entire interview on just the technical details of the game. Each line of shader and gameplay code was rewritten at least 5 times. I would not say I am that much more interested in reflections than the average person. I am guessing everyone's had at least one moment where they looked at themselves in the mirror and experienced some weird, fleeting, ineffable sensation. But when it comes to programming, reflections have been a joy for me ever since I became interested in graphics. I guess I was perplexed that such a common real-world effect was not easily possible in games. My first few attempts during college were alright, but because they were based on rasterization voxelization, they would come out blocky, familiar job. Once I realized real-time ray tracing was possible, I wanted to push it to the absolute limit. I think the mixture of extreme reflection, refraction, infinite space,